Right, yay, we're recording, yay.
We've hit the ground running, guys. We've hit the ground running. We're finally back. Don't know where this episode's going to go because last time, the past two episodes, we've had Billy on, the illustrious Billy. He's not with us. I don't think he cares about anything that we're going to discuss this episode, to be honest. He only cares about June and the history of June and talking about art.
Pretty much.
Fine, but we don't want that here today. We're sick of that for now.
Yeah.
But we are going to come back because we were supposed to have watched Goodfellas. So this episode, who knows? It might actually be after that episode, which we haven't even recorded yet. But that's the magic of being online and putting things up whenever we feel like it or not.
Whenever we want. We're not getting paid to do it. No one even watches it. Apart from, was it Canadian people apparently like us?
Apparently. Although...
That's pretty cool.
Don't know. I put some stuff in the last video of just like maple syrup and a Canadian flag like slowly appearing over the episodes. So I don't know if that was appreciated or not.
I think they'd love it.
But, yeah, I'm sure they did.
I spit out a piece of gum on the floor and I don't know where it's gone.
That's the worst. That's the worst kind of situation.
I just thought it would be a funny visual, but it's the same color as my carpet.
What colour is your carpet?
It's like a weird cream. I don't like it.
Why don't you paint it? Why don't you paint it green? Like the
Some of it is
green
painted
screen part of
green
the wall.
because I forgot to put down newspapers.
That's such a like rookie error. It's not even an error actually. Do you know what it reminds me of? It's like I can picture you in a montage, like a 90s montage of you like painting the wall with like your two children and the wife, and then she puts like paint on your nose and you're wearing dungarees.
That sounds
like,
awesome.
What would you do if I did? And it's
yeah, and it goes all over like something, and it's like a horrific thing, and everyone like goes like, "Oh no!" And then it's just fixed, and they never explain how.
I thought you were gonna say, like in this scenario, it's like you got grease on the lens. It looks super like vignette-y and like really like dream sequency. The second the wife or the kids spills the paint over like something you hold dear, it just turns and you just
take the belt off.
You take the belt, but the music's still playing, like all happy and like the Wonder Years, and you're demolishing your daughter with a belt.
You know, little bits of brain matter all over my big cowboy belt buckle.
Blood on the spurs.
That's probably a good segue into what we're actually supposed to be talking about.
Yeah, but you know, you like a little lead in. But that is, as we started talking about that little Monty Python sketch thing there, I just start thinking about certain aspects of what we're talking about today. So today, everyone, we're discussing the little-known film Invincible, starring Matt Damon, Morgan Freeman. I don't know anyone else who was in that film. I remember it being advertised all the time, and I couldn't give a shit because it's about rugby.
It's crazy thinking Matt Damon and Morgan Freeman were in a movie together.
That's nuts.
It's crazy.
Do you reckon they actually spoke to each other, like, not film?
No, definitely not.
Oh, apologies, everyone. They would never have spoken to each other because Matt Damon wasn't in it.
Who was in it?
I want to give you three guesses.
I don't know anything about that movie. Who's So it was Morgan Freeman, but not Matt Damon. Yeah.
No.
Who the fuck is that guy who's like he's kind of like a discount Nicolas Cage? It's like Walsh something.
Oh, I know the one. Wasn't Nicolas Cage in a film with that guy as well? And it was like really shit.
Probably.
But no, it's someone that we're a big fan of here at Lights the Arcade and Top and Town, whatever this is.
Ben Affleck.
Big fans.
Oh, we're
no,
big
you're
fans.
on the same lines. This is the kind of guy who It's fine. He may have obliterated the eyeballs of a Vietnam vet once, but it's fine because we're still big fans.
We do love good old Marky Mark.
Oh yeah, baby.
We love him.
We love you. You're very special.
Very special. We like to do a little trolling. Troll Vietnamese people.
Speaking of that, I just got a notification on my phone saying that Trump's appeal to have his social media unblocked was denied.
Denied. Oh, that's sad. I'm going to miss him.
So it literally feels like he's just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah. No one cares about him.
So did you hear what he's doing?
No. What's he doing?
Right. If you wanted to have Donald Trump speak at your wedding, you can have this happen for a low price. I'm assuming of like 20 grand, probably. At a certain hotel where he's been staying, he was coming down and doing. He was just doing a speech before random people's weddings.
Really?
But it was just about him and talking about. There's videos of it. We'll have to like put a bit up or something.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's so funny. Because it's like, you can pay me and I'll do a nice little speech at your wedding. But then when he speaks, he doesn't mention them at all. He's just talking about, we did win. It was a big victory. It's like,
it was taken from us.
I don't, but there's a video, right, where there's a band in the background tuning up and they're just awkwardly waiting for him to stop. Like, there is a band behind you. While, like, these people are waiting to play probably Unchained Melody, some cringy stuff. And Donald Trump is just talking.
I mean, that's a pretty great but uncomfortable position to be in.
On whose angle?
All of them, I suppose. That's like the drunk uncle who gets up to say stuff, and no one really knows what he's talking about. That's literally. All right.
All right. Okay. For real this time.
Are we finally going to talk about Invincible?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
We're talking about Invincible, the new show. A comic book that's been adapted into a series for Amazon Prime. By the way, Amazon Prime is probably still one of the worst organized, and it's just the worst service to navigate still to this day, and they haven't changed it in like 8 years. Fine, do what you want.
I mean, I think there are worse ones, to be honest.
Like Hey You.
Hey You. Oh. I've never used Hulu. I don't know if that's bad. But I use like Funimation and shit for watching anime, and it's awful. I hate it. And half the time, half the time it doesn't bring you to the episode that you're trying to watch, or you can't like. You have to completely research the whole thing, so you can get to a different episode or whatever. It's stupid. Anyway,
it's like they make it's like they make so much money that they just like
they don't care. They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. So it's fine just being that shit. It's like Amazon. Like
Amazon
that's
is
why.
the same. Yeah. But the thing about Amazon is they do have some really good original series.
They do. But it's also very few and far between, don't you think? Because for every one great thing they have, either eventually that great thing ends up being super lackluster and just shit, or 5 things come out that are borderline like
half of them
Neil Breen.
Yeah, no one even like knows what they are. Like they just have really generic names and plots.
Yeah, and it's a shame because like some of their. Do you remember when they were doing the whole here's like 5 pilot episodes for series, and you can vote on which ones you want to be made into series, like full series. I think there was one with Ron Perlman where he is like a governor of a place, and it's all super shady, but like that's a unique idea. Imagine if Netflix did that, where it's like, here is like an example pilot of a show that we have ready to go, but what do you want to see? Although the problem is, I guess Netflix, they have so much money, they just literally throw at fucking everything.
They
like
throw shit at
Thunder
a wall.
Force.
Thunder
Literally.
Force. Ugh.
That would be like, that's not even a compliment to shit. Like saying that like they throw shit on the wall and it sticks. Like they throw, what's her name, Melissa McCarthy at a wall, and she annihilates the wall.
She would be like one of those weird like sticky octopus things that just like
Rolls down.
Yeah.
She was like one of those aliens from like that used to be buying the eggs.
Oh, those are gross.
And you like slap them on the ceiling.
People used to rumor that like if you put two of them in the same one, they would make like a baby one or something like that.
Yeah.
Or if you, and I remember trying that and it never worked. And it just made me really angry.
I know. And then I like, did you ever get upset though? Like, did you ever like proper lob it at like the window? Or something?
Yes.
And it's like head would like splash.
Those were so cool. Those things though, like.
They actually were. I kind of wish like when I get like more of a desk set up, I would want to have that kind of shit in the background, like Tamagotchis. I just want like a whole like 90s, early 2000s kind of stuff.
That'd be really cool.
Like... But anyway, what are we talking about? Anyway, right, guys.
You keep getting off of topic.
Sorry, I can't help it. I think I'm going hyper. I've got a giant share bag of giant buttons, and I'm just eating every single one of them, and I don't care.
That's awesome.
But,
making me hungry. Anyway, I think I think generally we really like Invincible.
I kind of want to. We'll go through like sort of who's in it and stuff. We've got a little bit of structure, but I feel like for this one, because it's so new and fresh, doesn't need to be. We did a proper deep dive on Alien, for example. Which was really fun, and we kind of covered all aspects of it, and there were certain things that we kind of learned about our kind of history with the franchise. Whereas this is almost like a completely different thing, at least for me. But yeah, so we'll go into it a bit. So Invincible is obviously an adaptation of a comic book series which ran from 2003 onwards. I don't know when it ended. I believe it was like 2000 and... It wasn't too long. No,
I think there was a lot of issues of it as well. I think it was like up to like 150 or something like that.
Yeah. I think. Oh, hold on, I've got it here. 144.
Right.
So it has a start and a definitive end.
Yeah.
Which is great because. Do you have like an opinion either way on like Robert Kirkman?
I think he's a really interesting writer, but that's not always a good thing. But like I love the stories of like how he sort of, when he was originally writing The Walking Dead, they were kind of like, look, you can't just make a thing about zombies. There has to be like a twist or something to like make it more interesting than just people surviving zombies. And he's like, sure, it's like aliens. There's actually, and you find that out like 5 or 10 issues in, and they're like, oh, that sounds awesome. And they kept going through the issues, and like the producers or publishers or whatever kept being like, all right, so when are the aliens gonna get here? And he's like, don't worry, they're coming. And obviously, like they aren't. I think that's like a.
Well, are you sure?
Well,
because it's still going. What if the last issue?
That would be so sick.
It would be like, oh god, imagine. I'm sure he's sick of it now. I mean, I don't think he actually writes much of it anymore, does he?
I think he's like a head editor or something like that. I don't think he really writes it.
I would love if the final episode is just like Rick, and he's just like, well, I have to go now. My planet needs me. And he just poochies the fuck out of there. Like, and it's just like him awkwardly flying into space, and then it just ends.
God, I don't even know what's happening in the Walking Dead comics anymore. Like, that shit's probably crazy. But yeah, I think Invincible was kind of a similar thing where they were like, so we want you to do a superhero thing now. Just got to have a cool spin on it. But in that case, it actually did happen.
Yeah. I do know that apparently the main twist that happens right at the beginning of, obviously the show, it happens at the end of the first episode, but I believe in the comics it wasn't until the like
10
10th,
issues
15th issues. Yeah. And I do really want to try and get my hands on like all the sort of volumes, they seem really fucking difficult to just get. You'd think for, especially on Amazon, you'd think that they would be trying to repackage it and get it out there, but I can't find like a compendium.
I think because it is quite an old one now, and like sort of no one was really talking about it up until they decided to make a show out of it. Like no one really cared about it.
Well, I remember I think it was like 2017. I remember there was a Comic-Con or something, and I think Seth Rogen was there for some other thing, and Robert Kirkman was there, and they were talking about how they were going to be producing a film based on Invincible, and no one cared. Well, I didn't care. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is. This is like the perfect thing to do, I guess, if you're going to try and do that, because the rumors are that they are concurrently working on the film adaptation right now.
Yeah.
And looking to film in the next like year, which I don't know. It'll be interesting. We can have a discussion about how we think that will either hinder or help both adaptations. But yeah, the comic series. I mean, I haven't spoiled it for myself, but I know the narrative beats now.
Yeah.
For like the general arcs, and I was actually shocked at how actually unique it kind of is, even to this day, and even back then. Like there are some things that now you look at and you're like, well, that's taken from this, but then obviously knowing the time period it came out, you're like, well, actually no.
Well,
not at all.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of like characters in it, and like sort of plot points that today seem almost kind of cliche, and like they're parodies of those things, but when it was actually written, those were kind of new and fresh ideas. Even shit like Dark Blood, like that's such a dumb, like overtly dark cliche character now.
Yeah, and literally ripped from Hellboy, like. Yeah. But that's the thing I found so much. I think that's why this show is engaging. It's because it almost has, you have like the twist on or the parody of something, but then there is an extra twist on that as well. There is layers to like everything. And you're actually shocked by new things every time. Even like the typical villain of the week thing, which the show doesn't really do, but obviously sometimes there's like a random guy that appears and they deal with. Like that guy with the gloves that can create like earthquakes and shit. And it's like, okay, well we've seen that, and it's a parody on the mad scientist kind of thing. But then he is trying to actually help stop global warming, and he's trying he's a good it's that I don't know, there's a lot of stuff going on, and like certain characters are introduced that now I know have completely different kind of connotations later. Like there's no spoilers because I don't actually know. It's funny because even though I looked at the main arcs of what happens, I don't feel like I've spoiled it, because what I find so much more interesting about the show and the comic is actually the dialogue.
Right.
Like some of the little monologues between characters and things is genuinely unique. Even if they don't start that way, it's like there's a few things like Omni-Man and like, stuff like that, like things that he's saying, and it's like I haven't actually seen or heard anything like this before, how it kind of, I don't know, just something that, and I guess it is gone.
We should probably say for that, like, because you can't review this without spoiling it, because the show itself is a spoiler. Basically, the dad of the main guy, Invincible, is an evil alien who wants to, bring Earth into like their empire.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they'll kill them basically.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a really basic idea of a plot, but it's sort of the way they do it. It adds a lot of dimensions to every character, like even the government officials, who are usually like the really boring ones in this. It adds a lot to them.
Oh, like Cecil is like one of my favorite characters, just because I when it first started, and I was like, oh god, they've really got this character in there, like this typical, this is the character from like every Michael Bay movie. But then, like, he does have heart, like, and he's a really good guy, but he does everything under the belt, essentially. Like, bringing out one of their most fiercest kind of captured creatures and fucking juicing it up with steroids and firing it back at Omni-Man, like, or like, I don't know, yeah, it's just like you said, like, everything lends itself to all the characters being not just one-dimensional. But maybe we should start with Omni-Man then.
Yeah,
Obviously played by J.K. Simmons. Like fucking
Yeah. I mean, he's
This
he's
is-
perfect for that role.
exactly his voice, man. Ugh.
But-
It just makes me sad because if they are doing this film version, none of these actors are probably going to be any of the characters. I could
No.
maybe see Walton Goggins being Cecil.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe Sandra Oh as Debbie, but
Clancy Brown could still do Dark Blood.
that actually would be sick.
Stephen Ewan couldn't really do Invincible. He's a bit too old, I think.
That's the thing. Like, even though he has a baby face, he's still. I think he's like mid-30s.
Probably, yeah, something like that.
But yeah, don't know. Like, it's funny because so you do have the typical. He's Superman from the start, like Nolan Grayson. I don't know. Like, when you know everything for the whole season, when you take it from episode 1 to the final, like, there's so many little things that they add in. Not just like the moments of like brutality that he causes, like, well, obviously destroying everyone in the Guardians of the Globe. I mean that, because you told me about this show and I mentioned it to you as well, but like, I wasn't very interested in it, and you said to just watch the first episode.
Yeah.
And do you know what's funny is that I watched the first episode and it got to the credits, right? And I nearly turned.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yep.
say you're probably thinking like, what was that? Was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was like, this is kind of kiddie. Like, yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. Like, yeah, and the acting's kind of cool, and like I like it, and blah blah.
yeah,
But then, yeah, when it cut to the credits, I was like, oh, that was it. And I was maybe half a second away from just changing it over or turning it off. But then luckily, obviously, it comes back in with that ending
yeah,
monologue, essentially, of just the fucking going to town on these people.
yeah, like exploding their heads.
Oh,
The brutality
It's-
of how it's animated is so good.
well, that's the thing. Like, I still don't think that the animation in like normal scenes is that great, but it almost is the point. It's very static in the sense of like their mouths move, like it's got like they've got 3 different mouth movements, but then the second action happens, it's like rendered at like 500 frames per animation. But man, yeah, it was when he grabs. Is it Red Rush or basically
Yeah, like
the
the
Flash?
speedster.
Yeah, the speedster, the speed muffin.
That's what they're called.
But when he grabs his skull, and it wasn't even that bit when his eye pops out. Do you know what it was for me?
What?
It was we said this before. I think we said this in some other podcast we did, but I have this weird, like, gruesome fascination with what happens to someone in a moment like that, like their brain, how it's all working. And his skull is being compressed, and his brain's being like shelled out of his eyes, and he can't form a fist anymore. And his palm, in the back, like the overside of his hand, is just hitting Omni-Man's chest.
Ugh.
When he's trying to punch him, but he just can't, and it's just like he's spazzing out. Oh man, it's just so brutal.
Yeah, that is actually tough. I mean, it's just really impressive that they put like that much thought into it. Like, he doesn't just like punch them all and explode their heads. So there's little details that make it worse.
Yeah, I really the one that I really felt that I wish he hadn't killed was the little fish man.
Oh, they're like the version of Aquaman. He was great.
I guess what makes it super harrowing though is the fact that they actually build the characters up a tiny bit throughout the episode. Like, the speedster guy is like with his wife,
Yeah.
on the hill, and they're talking about, you know, having kids and stuff, and then the weird slimy alien that can like Fantastic Four his way around things. Like, he's got like a kid who looks after him and stuff, and they're best friends, and it's like, what is going on here?
Yeah, like those little details make it so that when they do die, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
They weren't just like these caricatures of, you know, the Justice League.
Yeah. And
No,
just for a start, like R.I.P. to the two criminals that the Batman ripoff stuck to the water tanks on the towers, because they would have died of starvation by
yeah,
now.
they'd be dead. But yeah, I mean, I think just from that point on, like, it makes Omni-Man so much more interesting, even though they don't really talk about what happened directly. It really gets you thinking while you're watching it, like, what does all this mean? Like, why did he do it? Did he have a good reason? And all that. Or did he even know what he was doing? Because he just kind of ignores it for, like, the first, like, 4 episodes.
That's the thing, like, he doesn't even seem to try and evade any detection, or he doesn't really go... Like, even asking for the suit back, it's like, well, that's suspicious in the first place anyway. Stuff like that. And he just... But it all comes down to, I guess, that final episode where he's like, I just don't care.
Yeah. He just doesn't give a shit.
No. He's not over... Do you think he's evil? Or does he just not care? Because they're beneath him.
Yeah, but aren't those kind of the same thing?
Well, alright, to be fair, I'll give him credit. Until that final episode, he does not... The final 2 episodes, he doesn't go out of his way to kill someone that's a normal person. But he doesn't care if they die during something. Whereas the final 2 episodes, he is just like proving a point.
Yeah.
Like the R.I.P. to the black pilot guy.
Oh man. that was really...
Yo, thanks for saving me, man.
Saved me, Invincible. Oh my god.
You saved him for this?
He just again explodes his head.
He loves that.
Yeah. Would you compare this at all to like The Boys?
So I know that's like the really popular comparison. Yeah. I don't think it's a fair comparison whatsoever.
No, they're totally different.
And I hate the fact that people are comparing it.
Because in the past like few years, parodies of like superheroes have just been like such a big mainstream thing now. Like, obviously you got The Boys, stuff like Watchmen even.
I even think back to like Kick-Ass. Yeah,
that's a great example. It's like, but I think this is unique in the way that it's not a parody of it. It's just an interesting take on superheroes.
Well, that's the thing. You don't have like... There are still the almost cliche good superhero characters in it, but they work. It's like Atom Eve. She's great. Yeah. She's got her own twist on where she wants to like be her own thing, and she wants to help like the world and stuff. And she lives in like George of the Jungle like type treehouse.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like the comparison with The Boys and stuff, like it's just not warranted, because I actually generally think Invincible, just this first season, puts The Boys to shame.
It kind of does.
Because you think of The Boys, Homelander is great. Homelander is really good, but he's also really one note now. Yeah. Especially after the second season, it's like, I don't care where they go with it.
The thing, I think, the first season of The Boys is way better, whereas the second season, it's like, it's still good, it's still fun, but yeah, it's so one note. Like he's evil, but he's also kind of goofy.
Yeah.
So okay.
Whereas here, Omni-Man is... I'm glad that they stuck to... Because what... do you know, like... I mean, we're doing spoilers and shit, but do you know kind of... He isn't evil at all. He's not like... And I suppose he learns things later on, and I guess the show will go on, obviously, for 2-3 seasons now.
Well, I think they've said that they reckon it could go on for like 6 or 7 more seasons.
That's the thing. After reading like this kind of breakdown of everything that happens, I think that would be like a minimum.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the comics go, I've only read up to like issues like 20 or like 25, something like that. Like, but I read those like fucking ages ago, and it makes me really want to like go back and like read the entire thing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's. I'm glad that they didn't. I almost felt like they would. Most other companies would be like, right, well, we need to add like another kind of cliffhanger or more hints at what's going on with Omni-Man, and they just don't. They just let you you, the viewer, as well as Mark, just
Yeah.
think that he is this abomination of a creature, and that's what you're left at. And it's like,
No,
great,
just this
thank
evil.
you.
Yeah, I do think that's cool. That, like, apart from literally what he says and does, you don't get any like hints. You don't get any like, oh well, he's really, this is what's going on.
Yeah,
You just have to try and figure it out for yourself, which I think is great.
like there's a little line. There's one line when him and Mark are fight. Well, can you even call it a fight?
No, he
No.
just gets fucking pulverized.
Yeah.
Mark does in Invincible, the main,
Yeah.
main guy.
But like where Omni-Man says to him, I was preparing them to join the Empire to save them.
Yeah.
But then obviously Mark's like, well, what if they refuse? He's like, well, then they'll die.
Then
Doesn't matter. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, so does he actually want to help? Is that... I didn't get this, and I still don't understand. Maybe I missed something. But are the Viltrumites... They are looking for domination. But
Yeah, I
they obviously give the civilizations... they give them the choice. Basically, you die, or we will help you.
Well, yeah,
in a
well,
sense.
that's what I thought was kind of weird about it, was that they don't... There's never, like, a debate about that. Mark just kind of says, like, no, you're bad. It's like, well, maybe hear him out first. Maybe say... But then I suppose it is inherently evil to say, if you disagree with me, we kill
Yeah.
you.
That's definitely true. It's just like, yeah, I guess the same as you. I didn't know if there was like a kind of moral ground to it, because he also says, doesn't he say, we can provide them with technology and medicine that are thousands of years ahead of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
But would they actually? I feel like that's not the point. Like,
It's like, even if they did, like, if any of them decide to refuse, you kill them. That's just evil.
it really, and I won't say anything, but like when you do look into what happens going down the line, there are some characters we've already been introduced to that you're like, that you know are actually stronger than Omni-Man, and you're like, oh shit, like now I know that in hindsight, and you watch certain scenes with these characters, and I'm like, what? But I think that's how like good this first season does. Of like, you almost don't want to ask any more questions now, other than like about where did Omni-Man go. Like it wraps up really well in a sense of like Mark's just gonna have to step up, forget about what's going on, and just, you know, I mean, obviously they do leave it on the cliffhanger of like the Federation, whatever it is, the coalition.
Oh yeah, the Seth Rogen's like character, weird.
Seth
alien
Rogen's
character.
coalition of actors.
No, I love his like alien character. He's great.
Oh, he is great. He is great. And my personal feelings for Seth Rogen are not entirely great. I think he's a bit of a prick, but his character's really good, and he does have a good eye for like things that he wants to produce and stuff. Because I mean, he's actually one of the guys who's really been the kind of leader in getting these adaptations done. I mean, Preacher.
Oh yeah, true. He was like wasn't he a producer on that or something?
Producer on that, producer on this. I think he actually wrote assisted writing on some of these episodes as well. So he obviously has a big hand in. He clearly loves his stuff.
Yeah. Although I just find people like that a little bit cringy because they like letting people know that they like comic books and stuff. And, you know, like I always find it cringy when you see people wearing like the McFlys. You know, like the shoes from Back to the Future. You always see people go to shows and stuff wearing them, and he's done that. And it's like, wow, look how weird and quirky I am. I like Back to the Future. I have these shoes, yes.
I'm just like you guys. And he'll go on like Screen Junkies, like.
Yeah, exactly.
Again.
But he does seem like a cool guy though.
He at least is. He's not as cringy to me as like Kevin Smith.
Oh no, yeah, Kevin Smith is way worse.
I hate Kevin. Like I like Kevin Smith, but I can't stand the guy.
yeah, exactly.
How like he does like the clickbait anything that comes out that's DC or Marvel in the thumbnail he's crying.
He's crying.
Him and Tim Gettys should have like a little thumbnail off.
That'd be amazing. They should do their own like show or podcast or something where it's just a competition to see who can gush about something that they love that they don't really know anything about or even care about. They're like, oh, I just love Miss Marvel. She's my favorite superhero.
Don't even, man. Oh, did you see there was a leaked set picture of Miss Marvel?
Oh my god, she's great. Oh, I could not give a shit about Marvel anymore. I hate it.
But it was so this picture, right? It was the worst thing. Okay, the costume looks like Miss Marvel's costume.
No.
But maybe that's just a problem with the character. But then, like on film, it just looked like the picture. It just looks like terrible cosplay and cringy like wokeness going on, and like all I saw were tweets going, "This is the Miss Marvel costume. That's it. That's the tweet." I've got to say,
people who tweet
that's
like
the
that
tweet is the worst. Yeah,
I
think that triggers me so far beyond what my brain can actually handle.
It's that, and when people make like a statement all in capitals that they just like repeat
With
like
claps.
line after line. Yeah, with claps as well.
Oh.
It makes me
I think
actually
Captain.
mad.
It's like I think Captain Marvel is the best female hero ever.
Yeah, it's like if you don't like Captain Marvel, you are sexist, misogynistic, and racist. So
it's also the another one that's just as bad is when it's like shit. Oh, my mind's gone blank. It's like there's another one that's really bad. I think maybe it's that bad that. Oh, it's when it's a picture of a character and it's like, name me one character that's gone through more pain than her. And it's a picture of Captain Marvel.
what?
Or Wonder Woman.
Oh God, Wonder
Get
Woman.
out of here.
Wonder Woman raped a guy. Okay, she doesn't get to
Literally.
go through pain.
Now, in other way, I mean, if you showed me that same tweet but with a picture of Debbie Grayson, I'd be like, damn, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Did you think so? Going back to the actual show, like there are some things where it does the kind of you have to suspend your disbelief, and I know that's stupid saying that because it's a cartoon about like Cthulhu monsters and cartoon people and monster girls, but there is like the thing of like how Cecil has his little flying pods that like the little security cameras and they're just watching and picking up audio from everything.
I love even that there's the entire time in like Omni-Man and Mark and all that's house. There's just like invisible guys with guns just like hanging out and watching them that just kind of appear. like are they there all the time? Like
yeah, that is kind of creepy.
Like they're being
just one
watched
of them's watching Debbie like showering, watching Omni-Man shower. Do you reckon he showers like? I don't think because I was going to allude to some of the like little. There's lots of little hints and quirks to how the character changes. Like when he's at home and before all goes to shit, he's walking around, isn't he? He's walking around on his bare foot or in shoes. He's just normal guy. The second everything gets found out, he doesn't walk at all. He floats everywhere. And it's like that little thing of like, he's almost like given up the ghost. He's like, fuck this. I don't need to like do this anymore. Like,
that's cool. I never noticed that.
Apparently there were like some little changes from the comic book that actually add to it. So like the fact that after Immortal tries to gouge his eyes out.
Yeah. Oh, his
the whole
eyes
next
are red.
Yeah. But in the comic, apparently it's not. Like that obviously they just,
I might remember this wrong, but I think Immortal Man was actually like a much more significant character in the comics. I might be wrong on that.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think because obviously they kind of show at the end of this last episode of the season that like they're getting him back again.
Yeah.
I just love how funny it was, like his character arc, like. Just there's like the weird little vignette of like him as like an Aboriginal man, and then a portal opens, then he's Abraham Lincoln.
Like I swear they literally ripped his whole character straight from Highlander. Like
literally,
Like, oh, he's a guy who finds out he's immortal and lives through all these different time periods. But yeah, I love that it goes through all that, and you're like, whoa, this is really dramatic. And then he just goes to fight Omni-Man and gets his fucking insides ripped out straight away.
Yeah. Like, there are little things where it's like, well, how did he know
Yeah,
that he was there?
Makes no sense, but
He just wakes up. I love it, like, the voice acting as well. It's almost like too over the top. Where is he?
Where are you, man?
Omni-Man! I'll kill you! And then he's just chopped in half. Great. Good work there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But yeah, like little things like that, I can forgive those because like it's not even funny really. It's just, but it's a great like little thing to have in a story. It just adds a bit more dimensions to it.
Mm. I like I guess last words on like Omni-Man, but it's like J.K. Simmons' voice portrayal is just so good because he has that demeanor from being calm to terrorizing in like 1 second. Same as like he was in Whiplash, I guess, or even as like, you know,
Jameson. Yeah.
But it's like what I really appreciate about the show is that they don't overact even the normal conversations. Like they talk like we are. They'll be like, "No, yeah, I understand." Yeah. Like, and they like when Debbie and him are having conversations at like the midway of the season, where she knows something's wrong and they're just talking, but it's so like downplayed. It's not like over the top cartoony accent, or it's like they are just sat down drinking a cup of coffee, like chatting. It works so well. Like,
well, I think that's just like they were clearly inspired by like actual like superhero cartoons, like everything like Batman the animated series, like Young Justice, Teen Titans, all that. And it seems like they took a lot of those like aspects of it where it's still like you can have those scenes where it's just talking and, you know, discussing shit that's really normal and works way better than it being over the top and dramatic all the time.
Yeah. Because then those moments that do come with like drama and need the gravitas, like it hits you then so much more. And I guess who else do you want to talk about? Because I guess we can talk about Mark. Like,
I was going to say, we should probably talk about the actual main character, the title character.
Yeah.
I think
Stephen Ewan is... You go for it.
I just think he's great as like, just as a fleshed out protagonist for this kind of show. He's kind of perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is as... Because you might think, like, we've seen so many characters just like this. This is the... I was going to say Tobey Maguire, but Tobey Maguire isn't a character. He's an actor who played Spider-Man. But he is Peter Parker.
Yeah.
But then, because he gets to interact with his family relatives more than most other superheroes who lose their families in tragic accidents and stuff, he does get to build so much more of, like, I guess, like, levels of depth to him and, like, how he acts with his mum and stuff like that. And yeah, he just pulls it off so well. Like,
oh yeah,
I didn't realize
purely just through voice acting.
And I mean, when his voice is breaking right at the end and he's like fucking destroyed, you're just like, man, like to do that stood in an audio booth where it's not like a live action film where you might have prosthetics that help you achieve that, like, my face is broken. I'm sure he put, like, cotton buds in his mouth and stuff and spoke like that. But like, you actually felt like he was injured. He was hurt. It's like they went into the audio booth and fucking punched up Stephen Ewan.
They literally just, like, got a baseball bat with spikes on and, like, beat his head in.
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm not again, Stephen.
No, Steve.
But yeah, like, just fucking, phenomenal acting. And he's funny. He delivers like the funny lines really well because he's so, like, downplayed and just...
Yeah, well, it does that great thing where, like, it still just feels like an actual teenager, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't... It's not over-dramatized, like, the way he talks or how he's written.
No. And, like, he has his little quirks and things that he likes, and I think even the music adds to that, like the choices that they make for like proper like indie and like lo-fi kind of stuff as well. Like when he's flying, like the kind of that's like his character as well. Like, and I guess that's why. Same with Eve. She's like the female like counterpart to him. Like I like her story as well. You know, the kind of mum and dad like hating the fact that she got her powers, and well, the dad like the dad is the typical abusive father kind of.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Danny DeVito in Matilda.
That's pretty much.
But yeah, like Mark's journey is brilliant. So well done. Because we always see like Spider-Man gets his powers, and yeah, he's not great with his powers at start, but when he needs to save someone, he does it.
Yeah.
But the first fucking old lady that Mark tries to save from the Flaxen invasion,
fucking shot in her little brain.
Yeah, so he picks her up, but with too much strength, he like folds her body in half.
And then it's something like that.
Yeah, and then he's flying away to get her out of the situation, but he gets hit and he lands on her.
Yeah, I do think that they do a good job with like just making it feel I guess realistic without being cartoony at the same time. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like those moments where like something ridiculous happens, it makes it really dramatic rather than being funny.
Yeah.
Whereas in a lot of other properties, that would be like a joke.
Exactly. It's a really weird thing, like balance. Like to get that right must be like probably this is what would have tipped the scales on this show being good or not. Because it's like in that same episode, you've got like these hilarious race of aliens that can at the start can only last on Earth for what 5 minutes, and then they start to age, but then they come back. Like 10,000 years later or whatever it is, and they've aged, and it's like they've got new things now, but then they get rid of that, and it's like it's funny, but it's also daunting. In fact, I do think though that episode that has that whole weird invasion and the episode where Mark goes to Mars, I do kind of think they almost didn't have setup or payoff. I think the Flaxen invasion does, because then you have Omni-Man going in there and eradicating their entire planet to the like a super chilled out like song.
Yeah.
And that's really cool, and like the science behind it, how he's been there for like
thousands of years or something.
Yeah,
like...
and he's just got a slight more beard
when
he comes back. But that kind of hit me more of like a Rick and Morty kind of thing. That race of aliens.
Kind of, I see that.
But it's still a good introduction to like team.
Yeah.
And like Rexplode and fucking.
Yeah. Should we say about like some of the just extra characters, like the ancillary ones?
Who do you want to give like spotlight to?
I mean, Rexplode is pretty good. Monster Girl, I quite liked.
I really like Monster Girl, but how many times realistically could she transform? Like, what's the point in having her on the team?
Yeah, she's probably got like a couple months maybe before she's dead. And
like, could she still turn into the monster if she's like an infant baby, like a fetus?
Yeah, well, because she de-ages every time she uses the monster thing, but she still keeps her same brain. Like, how long does that keep going for, you know?
Yeah. It's not like Benjamin Button, where he turned into a baby, but as he turned into a baby, his brain deteriorated. And he forgot everything.
Maybe it would be. And if that was the case, would she then start aging normally again?
So she could actually live forever?
Possibly, yeah.
She would just have to keep going baby mode.
She just has to go back to baby mode. To baby mode?
Wait, does she... If she turns into the monster, is it... Could she stay as the monster?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, okay. That makes some sense.
I don't know. I would assume not, but I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think that would make that makes more sense. But yeah, like she's a really good character. Yeah, Rexplode. I mean, he's the typical douchebag, but then because he cheats on Eve with all the clones. What's her name? I forgot her name.
Duplicate or some shit.
That's it. And it's like
awesome.
But then that is kind of hot. That's a Chad move. But then like he has a moment where he sets up fireworks for her, and it's like, they kind of glossed over that whole relationship quite quickly.
But I think that's probably a good idea. Because again, from what I remember in the comics, from it, like Eve is kind of more of a whiny bimbo about it.
Oh, no.
Whereas they make her like a way more fleshed out actual person in the show.
Look, we will get to the whiny bimbo characters in this show. Specifically one, and I can't stand the bitch. But we'll get there. In Teen Team, there's also like, I mean, look, we'll have to probably dedicate a bit of time to Robot.
Yeah.
Or Rudy.
He's
I really like what they did with that character. I just wish there had been a bit more allusion to his actual state of what he is.
What do you mean? Like he's a weird, decrepit.
Yeah, but they never it comes out as so. Yeah,
it comes out of
nowhere. I do like the whole the thing of like they switch bodies, or like when he makes a clone, that whole thing of you don't become the clone. You're still in this state.
Yeah, it's duplicating your brain essentially.
Yeah, which
that scares me.
I've always honestly, I think that's one of the sci-fi concepts that freaks me out the most. Is that like, people talk about how in the future we might be able to like copy our brains over to computers and live kind of Black Mirror style forever.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be you. It would be a copy of your brain. You would die.
Yeah, you die and you watch another version of yourself.
Oh, man.
Go on.
I hate it. And I know I've told you about this before, but if people hate that kind of stuff, then play the game Soma. Because the ending of that game haunts me to this day. But because the main character is so cocky about when this kind of thing happens in the game. And like he's kind of he goes through this like situation where there's like an AI companion talking to him and telling him like, you can copy your brain over, but it's a flip of the coin. But like 2 times in the game, I think you do it and like you're successful and it's you. And then right at the end.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I love that the show has all these themes that it really works in, even if it's just for like an episode. Like that kind of existential crisis that he goes through, and he wants to give his mind a second chance, and he doesn't care. I love the bit where he's like, "It doesn't matter to me that I'm still stuck in this body. Like, it only mattered that you get to go and like have a second chance." Similar to like, what's the other guy's name? Titan, the one who he's almost like your Luke Cage type character, but like a bit darker. Like that episode was a bit hit or miss for me, but
I thought you were gonna say a bit blacker.
Yeah, that episode was a bit darker in terms of its shade.
Yeah, shading, skin color,
There's a lot, yeah.
That was. I didn't realize this, but apparently that's Mahershala Ali. I didn't realize that, which is really cool. Another great actor they've gotten for this, like weird comic book show.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I think that's why this show excels, especially at drawing people in as well. Because like we were just talking about Robot, I think that's Zachary Quinto. The guy in Hollywood that no one remembers the face of, but everyone does.
They did it like Spock or something, and then
and that was like it.
I don't know what else he's done.
But then like I don't know. You just got obviously Mark Hamill's in it as like art.
Yeah.
The costume designer, which that name's so on the nose that I love it, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's cool.
But no, like all the characters are just wonderfully kind of brought to life. I can't. I'm trying to look down this list now. Like we spoke about Alan the Alien. Like he doesn't have too much to do, but like I do love that he is just kind of your typical fish out of water in a sense. Like he has no idea
Yeah.
what Mark's saying and stuff. But
Like,
I do want to vent some hate for one character.
okay.
Could you guess who that might be? That I don't think is a good character.
Um, I think I do, but I actually think I disagree.
Okay, who do you think?
It's fucking the girlfriend,
Yeah, Amber.
Amber. That's it.
I don't
should
like her.
remember. You don't like her?
Nope, not one bit.
Like throughout the whole thing, you didn't like her, or like
Not
just...
throughout the whole thing.
Okay.
I tell you what annoys me is that so she knew that
Yeah.
Mark was invincible. Yet she has such a go at him at the uni campus. But she knew. She already knew.
Yeah. Okay.
Bitch. And then she's like, "Oh, well, you had someone lie to you just like you lied to me. So let's be boyfriend and girlfriend again." No. Entirely different thing. He was trying to protect you by saying, to stop you from knowing who he was. His dad just admitted to never loving his mum and treating her like a pet, wanting to kill the human race.
Wanting to kill the entire human race, beating him to a pulp.
Yeah.
Not the same thing.
Not the same thing. I think that's just. I just think that character turn at the end there was not good, and I'm not in the minority. I think a lot of people hate that character.
Okay, I mean,
But
I totally get what you mean, and I agree with you. It just didn't bother me as much personally. Because I think I've seen that same thing done before, even worse, like in fucking Spiderman.
Oh yeah, okay.
But like, it's not great. It just, for me, it wasn't like a huge turn off.
I guess because I think everyone knows or expects that him and Eve will end up together. Like, so it doesn't really bother me too much in the sense that I imagine they are gonna kind of get rid of that kind of relationship. I don't think she's in it. Apparently, in the comic books, Amber is barely in it.
Right. I think I don't remember her really.
But they do try and give her the kind of Mary Jane aspect, like, or that kind of side of things. She's working in like a soup kitchen and shit like that, and she's got good qualities. But it's just like, I don't know. I'm afraid I stand Atom Eve.
I prefer her, but I think that's kind of a cliche thing that a lot of things do, where they have like the girlfriend character or the love interest in these superhero things, and they make them like good just by having them go to a soup kitchen or something, or like they do charity work. It's not just that, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know. Speaking of Mark's friends,
yeah.
do you like? What about William?
I really liked him, to be honest. I thought he was good.
I really like William. Because I love when shows have that character. And we all know that character. The kind of stereotypical, like...
Yeah. The gay character.
Everything's about them. Like the gay character, but more the kind of best friend that doesn't know about who they are. And it's just annoying. But I do like that he has serious moments. They don't last very long.
Definitely.
But like, he cares, and I think if they hadn't have given him any moments like that, when he asked Mark if he's okay and stuff, if he had just been the like, "Can I try your suit? Can you fly me around? Can I do that?" I would have just hated him.
Yeah.
By that point, but no, they do give him a lot, and like even the bit when Omni-Man stops William in the road,
he asks where Mark is.
Where's Mark, William? You're supposed to drop it off at 12.
He should be home by now. Yeah.
And it's like, that's where I think the whole Omni-Man does care slightly, because why wouldn't he have just killed him? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I suppose.
Especially by that point that Mark doesn't know how bad his dad is. And William's like, "Is that blood on you?"
Yeah. Because by that point, no one else really has any idea of what's going on with him.
No.
They all just think he's, a superhero.
But there's little things about the show as well, like I know we're still talking about characters, but there's just so many.
Yeah.
You've got like the squid things, the sequids,
Yeah.
the sequins,
Bedazzled sequins.
the the vajazzles. Doesn't really go anywhere. Like I kind of like the idea. I like it's kind of funny what happens. Like Mark causes that, but
Yeah.
I guess that'll come back in the next season or whatever. Yeah. Do you think we're going to see Omni-Man in the next season?
I actually don't know. I imagine he'll be like he'll come back in the second half of the season. Because they kind of set it up that Mark is going to have to deal with a lot of these small things and just kind of wait for Omni-Man to come back.
That's the thing, isn't it? Like, it's funny how much of a tension it puts on after. So, you know, during that, like, 20-minute wrap-up at the end of the last episode?
Yeah.
And Cecil calls Mark at the diner, and he's like, there's something heading towards Earth very fast.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it's like, what the shit? It's like, fuck, they're not going to do this, like, again.
Already?
Like, surely Omni-Man isn't coming again. But no, I like that it was Alan. I love Mark's reaction to it.
Oh, he's just kind
there's a Viltrumite on Earth. Oh.
Like, oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I already kind of know. Yeah, I like that they have that little discussion about it at the end. Like, obviously, it kind of skips over a lot of it. But yeah, Alan's just kind of like, whoa, holy shit, dude. Oh, I can't believe you went through that. It's so dumb, but it works.
That's the thing though, isn't it? Like, I love when they first meet, and Alan's like, all right, come on, let me explain to you. And he puts the rock down.
Yeah.
And then the reverse of it.
He does the same thing.
I love that. Oh, it's so good. But no, man, it's just a really awesome show. Like, there's so many moments in it that I generally think are like some of the best moments. I mean, not just like the violent stuff, but just little moments between characters.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like the whole just the subway scene. I mean,
yeah, I think one issue with this is that anyone who hasn't seen it already probably has had it spoiled for them.
Yeah.
Because everything about it is on Twitter, like people reposting like him, Omni-Man, after he's just beaten the shit out of Mark, or like when he's like throwing him through the train.
Yeah.
Which like this is why I hate Twitter and I suppose Instagram as well. Because you can't really get away from that shit because one other person has to like it for you to see it. It's like, I didn't want to see that. And it's like, this is literally the same day it's come out. I haven't even had...
Yep.
If you haven't had a chance to watch it already.
And it doesn't even help if you, like, block words on Twitter, because even if you were to block Invincible or spoilers or Omni-Man, it would still come up.
It would still come up just as a meme in a different context or some shit, whatever. Like.
But yeah, it's a great show. I hope that... I mean, there is a lot of material, and I think the fact that the comic run ended is probably the best thing for this.
Yeah, because
they don't drag it.
Yeah, we know it'll have a definitive ending. It's not some One Piece bullshit where it's like,
oh, fucking hell. No.
As good as One Piece is, it's like,
yeah,
we know when this will end. No one knows when.
No, I don't think no, One Piece will never end. But
no.
But yeah, there's characters that I'm really interested to see. Like, even the names of characters are still somehow unique and like awesome. Battle Beast, we see for like 5 seconds, and he wrecks everyone.
Oh god, Battle Beast was fucking sick.
This is the thing, though. This is why, like, I'm excited for the future, because everyone was like, because you think Omni-Man's watching Mark get beaten the fuck up, but there's a reason that Omni-Man doesn't intervene, because he can't fucking take on Battle Beast.
No.
Like it's stuff like that.
The only reason he survives is because Battle Beast is like, this isn't enough of a challenge. I don't fucking care.
This is where, like, Do you think there's clear like Dragon Ball influence as well?
I mean,
Because
there's
there's stuff
definitely
like that,
anime,
like
like,
yeah,
because like that's such a like Dragon Ball or like Hunter x Hunter kind of thing where
yeah,
like people will just like I'm not even gonna bother fighting you because you're clearly not enough of a challenge.
exactly. Like I do love all that kind of stuff, and oh, man, even speaking of anime, like there's not like one downfall of a lot of anime is the continual. Someone will throw a punch and then they'll spend 5 minutes talking about why they threw that exact punch instead of another punch they
Yeah.
could have thrown. And it's just a static image with some shakiness going on. There isn't any of that in this. Every single action is animated and drawn out.
Yeah, I think that probably has to do with like it's not there's no like power scaling or anything in it because we already
Yeah.
know fucking how tough Omni-Man and like Battle Beast and shit like that are. Like as far as like as much as the series goes on, those characters aren't going to get any stronger. It's about other
No.
characters getting as strong as them.
That's a really good way of putting it, actually. That's a really good like culmination of what this show is.
Yeah.
It's about these younger characters like that we know, like yeah, especially Mark. Like how Omni-Man's kind of like every day you get stronger, you get better every single day. But he lives for his type lived for so long. How long is it going to be until he is strong enough?
Yeah. Because we don't know how old Omni-Man is. He could be hundreds of years old, thousands.
Yeah. But I mean, he does have a mustache, which I just want to shout out some of the Wikipedia stuff because it's really funny to me. The description of the Viltrumites is like appearance, mustache, as is customary for Viltrumites.
That's cool.
But yeah, I do love that, all that stuff. But oh man, like just everything about it, and I think the lines of like the whole what would you have after 500 years? Like that's just good writing.
Yeah.
Because in any other thing like this, I think of like Zod versus Superman. Whenever that kind of same conversation has come up, he's been like, "But it's about the people of Earth. I'm their protector and their guardian.
I have duty, responsibilities."
But Mark's like, "I'd have you.
I'd have my dad."
Yeah. After everyone he knows and loves, in Mum, everyone, even the other people in like the teen team and stuff, like Eve, whatever, like they'll die.
Yeah. Although, just we should probably like start wrapping this up. But I want to ask like, I wanted almost like an anime kind of moment at the end of it. Like after he's in the hospital and he like finally gets better, like he doesn't really say anything. Like I wanted like the first words he said to be like, "I'm gonna fucking kill Omni-Man" or some bullshit like that. I just thought that would have been so hype.
I mean, look, it would have been hype, okay? But I think that's the point of the show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I guess Mark is heartbroken. That's the point.
He wants his dad to still be good. Like
Yeah.
I think that's what's so sad about it. Because he's like,
Yeah.
the whole time he's getting beaten the shit out of him by Omni-Man. He's like, he wants to know why he's doing it. He's like, there has to be a good reason.
Well, it's like when he's trying to look around him, and he's like, "Who's controlling you?" Like,
Yeah.
and it's like it's sad because it's like no one is.
This is just who he is.
I do find it funny though that like these Viltrumites, it's like all of a sudden, just one day they decided to just cull their own people.
Yeah.
And it was just like a battle royale.
the OG battle royale.
Oh god. But yeah, like it's funny how this show clearly has so much more to give. Like, yeah, like I said, like knowing certain things and arcs that happen. It's not too convoluted. It's not like it's just things happen and there's reasons why, and it goes into fucking places that you're like, what? And I can't wait. I just hope that they just continue doing what they did for the first season.
Yeah.
I tried to find like behind the scenes stuff as well because there was like a thing going around on Twitter which is like the only behind the scenes clip I've seen, but it is of Stephen Ewan, J.K. Simmons, and Deborah O recording in the booth together.
Yeah,
doing,
I
like-
think I've seen that. Yeah,
And it's like, I'd love to see that for the last episode.
yeah.
I want to see.
That would be really cool, actually.
But yeah, I guess that's all we've got to say about Invincible. I mean,
Yeah.
one shout out, actually. I've just seen something here. Reginald Val Johnson.
Reginald Val Johnson.
There's a reason I'm saying that illustrious black man's name.
What does he have to do with this? Is he one of the?
He is the principal of the school,
Is he really?
and his name in the show is Principal Val Johnson.
Oh my god!
How fucking epic is that?
Holy shit! That's awesome. That's on the same level as like fucking Adam West in Family Guy, where he's literally just Adam West.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just looking at. Okay, so I'm looking at the thing, like it's on fandom.com, of course. The things for okay. The name is a direct reference to actor. The school is actually called Reginald Val Johnson High School. How did I miss that?
I was literally never paying attention enough to realize. I don't think.
No, and he is Reginald Val Johnson. That's fantastic.
I wonder if that was in the comics, or if they just like added that in the show just because.
So okay, in the comic, you only see it a couple of times, but in the background it says Reginald Val Johnson High School, but you never see the principal.
Okay.
So I love that they got him in just to be.
Yeah, that's
this
really
one...
cool.
That's so
What
neat.
the fuck is Reginald Val Johnson even doing now? Of course.
I thought he was dead. He looked like
I would've
50 or 60 in Die Hard. Like,
I would have assumed he was dead. Yeah.
oh god. Well, look,
Yeah.
that was quite a good little discussion. I'm sure there are things we've missed, but you can't. There's just so much to this.
We could probably
show.
talk about, if we wanted to actually structure it and talk about everything, it would take us like 3 to 5 hours.
Yeah, and no one wants to hear us going on about something for that long. But yeah, give it a watch. We're going to be doing a couple more of these kind of things. Hopefully, we'll have a Goodfellas one up soon at some point, whenever we can record that. And I'm sure that's going to be insightful.
So is this a tops and tails thing, or is this just
I think so.
Just a couple bros hanging out.
Yeah, you know what? It can be whatever we want.
I like that.
I'll put it up as a podcast anyway.
Okay, cool.
Fuck the system. So, but yeah, anyone listening, thanks for listening. Let us know your thoughts on Invincible and Reginald Val Johnson. And that was a burp worthy of Reginald Val Johnson.
I imagine he burps something like that.
I imagine he. Oh god, no. I mean, did you see how many like donuts and shit he was eating in Die Hard?
Yeah, and obviously they had to do reshoots and like film those scenes multiple times. So he's eating a lot of donuts.
I'd love if there was just one frame in Die Hard no one had ever caught, and it was like him at like 500 pounds for like one shot.
He got really fat like after shooting all of it, and they're like, "Oh, we need to do one more scene."
Well,
all right.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks,
fellas.
We love you.
I love you. Bye bye now.